Welcome to another video from Rennie Forsyths. We're today going to look at Web3. What is Web3? I'm seeing a lot of misunderstanding around what Web3 is and what it is not. So first what we'll do is we'll start with Web1 so that you can understand what that is, and then you will be able to actually distinguish the difference between Web2 and Web3. So first of all, Web3, or Web1, is when the internet originated with the websites as people were first using them. One of the best examples of this is the 1996 Space Jam website that you can still access. When you go to this website, what you see is you see text, you see images, and you see links. These links between different parts, this is why we called the web, because it was creating these interconnected links. Basically, these early websites were glorified newspaper type websites. There's not a whole lot going on. That's where it started. Then we moved into, let's call Web2, some of the best examples would be social media platforms. So we can look at a platform like LinkedIn, Facebook, Instagram, YouTube. What's happening here when we use these sites? So first of all, we didn't get rid of the web one. We still have images, we still have links, and we still have text. We still have these things on the screen. These elements are built from Web 1 that stayed the same. This is the interface that you are using. What happens is behind the scenes, which you can't see, is the server that's interacting with your login and storing the data for example, the YouTube videos that you're watching. And when that data is stored, it's stored with a specific company. So maybe Amazon is storing that data. The difference between that and Web3 is where we get to really understand what Web3 is. So Web3 is a replacement of this Web2 change. So Web2 created these centralized data storage. Web3 is taking that and making it available to everyone. So these things are stored on the blockchain, and by storing them on the blockchain, we allow the Web1 interface to be varied. One of the most common misconceptions that I see is people will look at a Web3 site and they'll think,
this site, the interface was edited. I cannot type in this. I'm not allowed to use this.
There was an incident about this with Uniswap in the past, where people said,
if I can't trade this coin and this coin, then Uniswap's blocked us from it.
Where the misunderstanding came is there's Uniswap, the actual domain, the website, the interface, and there's the protocol that runs on Ethereum. The big difference is if something is censored on Facebook, then it's gone. But when the front part, someone's specific website gets censored on this Web3 data, all someone needs to do is create another website that pulls from the exact same data. So they just create a different interface off of the exact same back data, and now you can show it again. It's no longer censored. What this allows to happen is you could have 100 variations of how the interface looks. You can have a basic, an intermediate user website, an advanced user website, an aggregate website, meaning this one actually connects multiple different protocols together. So you can see here, the picture can get much more complex in the application. There's a lot less risk of exclusion and censorship. Another part of this to consider is, how does Web3 affect the projects around it? For example, a project like Ethereum would be the equivalent of Web2, all of these websites, all of the databases, all of the data. So we often hear people say,
data is one of the most available commodities.
Not specifically to one person, but pulling and using that data would incur fees used in Ethereum, it would require people to need Ethereum to make these transactions. The second part is just the applications. This would be the back part of just a specific website. So for example, the data that's relevant only to Facebook or only to YouTube, but not all of them. You're only looking at one specific application. Again, not to be mistaken with that just interface. We're talking the data. When we look at this, we're looking at projects like Aave, Compound, a lot of these different DeFi projects, Uniswap, they are a bunch of data that's allowing, for example, in the case of Uniswap, trading to happen back and forth. These pools are actually happening on the Ethereum chain and can be accessed by your own interface. Many people have actually done this. They've made interfaces that tap into that. So when you're considering what is the differences, this is what you should be looking at. Am I looking at an application, or am I looking at the whole platform entirely? And who's using them? All right, that pretty much wraps up this discussion about Web3. I hope you enjoyed it. Please comment if you have any questions, and like and subscribe, and looking forward to seeing you in the next video.